It's time. I have watched Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 1. So if you have not watched it already, stop watching this video right now. There is going to be a lot of spoilers. If you have watched it and you wish to listen to me talk about it, if that's your kind of thing, if that's your fetish, then welcome aboard. So yes, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spoilers. First off, let me start by saying I was correct. Yes, I assume you want to know more than that. In my prediction video, I said that I believed Edison Tollett was going to go off and get the wildlings. I was correct, 100%. They found John's body. They took it into his little dungeon, his little sex dungeon, his private quarters, and the boys all stood around. And Edison Tollett, went off to get the wildlings. And there was a line in there. What was that line? If Dolores Ed is our last hope, what have we come to? Something like that. And I can't remember what it was exactly. It was like an hour ago now. I finished the episode about 10-15 minutes ago, and of course that was one of the first things. So I don't watch it with a notepad. Excuse me if I miss out my lines, but that was a brilliant line. But ultimately, in the night's watch, not really much. It's like a day passed, but in that day, which has passed since the season 5, episode 10, Ollie has aged about 10 years, and Edison Tollett's hair has doubled in length. So it's been a big day. Not only that, but Melisandre's aged about 100 years in that time. It's crazy how these characters, if you don't record for like a year, and you're trying to do a next day scene from a season 5 to season 10, everybody just changes. It's really ridiculous. But I did enjoy the new scene. It's nice to get a bit of a new scene on Game of Thrones. Melisandre's one of my favourites actresses on there, and in notes of appearance, my top would be Mira Reed, but Mira Reed and Miranda, along with Melisandre, so it was nice to see her in all of her glory in that very terrific scene. But yeah, otherwise you got the Onion Knight, the Sad Badger himself, Sadavos. Seems to be taking control, which is good. He's a very terrific character. I look forward to seeing him this season as it develops. His little bit of banter with Alistair Thorne was very good, and yeah, only thing I would say is re- the lack of upset about John's death. I mean, half of those people voted for him, yet only, what is it, 5 seem to be willing to go to the death for the man. And they're using completely new actors. Maybe see, this is what I didn't like about it so far through all the other 5 seasons. You only had about 4 or 5 guys at the watch you actually knew. There was the guys in the background like Bowen Marsh and Yarwick, who you could recognise their faces even though they didn't have lines. But otherwise, they kept on changing the actors, and they killed off all of John's friends in one battle. It would have been nice if they had more consistent back extras that you could have had put into this scene so you actually know who these guys are. I had the same issue when I used to watch Spartacus. You had the first season and the prequel, you had all the same extras in the background. You didn't even need to know these gladiators' names, but they say it was always the same guys there, and it looked consistent. But then after that first series, they killed off loads of the characters, obviously, and then just people, it didn't seem as immersive and realistic. I think the Night's Watchers had that same sort of issue with not having recognizable faces in the background. But that's only a little thing. There's not too much that's not really anything to moan about. But yeah, Night's Watch. That's that. Next, it brings us up to a bit of Sansa and Theon. Yeah, bit of cold, bit of running about. Not really much. They got a bit cold and they ran about. And then it was Podrick. Oh, jeez, Podrick. I mean, it's good to see he's been training. Obviously, Brienne did say she was going to train him how to fight, but it seemed out of place having Podrick Payne fight a man on a horse and beat him. I don't know what to think. Maybe they're missing a scene. They're missing something where I see Podrick transform into a fighting man. I know he's killed a Kingsguard. He stabbed him in the back of the head. That's not an argument. it's missing a scene. I want to see Podrick. Maybe this could have been the scene, and next time he could have actually fought someone and beat them. Maybe if they cut out him killing the guy on horseback and only had the other one. They had this other geezer knock him about a bit. Actually showed that he was semi-competent, but he wasn't up to the level of a guy who's obviously been training for quite a while. The Boltons now have experienced soldiers. These guys fought in the War of Five Kings. They fought against Stannis. These guys, they know how to fight. Some squire who's just been trained by one person on as a side task, I don't think would be quite up to it. And he just seemed to be bah 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 on the horse for like 5 minutes while Brienne was doing nothing. Good to see Brienne. It's good that she's mixed in with Sansa, because these are two storylines or two characters I never really liked at all. Brienne always seemed a bit boring, and like she was only getting certain things done because, hey, my feminism. Otherwise, her character was really incredibly boring, and I did not enjoy it at all. Sansa's same. I never really liked her character at all, so maybe having these two people together will help it. Podrick's obviously a laugh. Theon's getting back together. I liked Alfie Allen's acting when he first got his sword, because Alfie Allen, of course, was a soldier. This guy was not Alfie Allen. This Theon Greyjoy was obviously a good soldier. He was a good fighter during the war. When he was fighting in the battles and such, he was a very good warrior. Didn't he? They say he like came close to Jaime Lannister in prowess or something like that. So the way Alfie Allen acted when he first picked up the sword, like he was returning to himself. He got it back. I really liked that. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, not much. Of course, not much has happened. It's one episode, but yeah. Ramsay, it's good to see Ramsay. He is certainly going to kill his father and Fat Walder. I can see it. He's up to his usual charm, just his love, the love of his life. He's known her for most of his life. They've been lovers. He was going to marry her, and she's unfortunately dead. And he just says, "Give her to the hounds. It's good meat." It's just Ramsay at his best. I mean, it's good to see him start showing a bit of humanity. Maybe if they showed him a bit more humanity, like maybe if he had her buried or something, maybe it'd help us sympathise with the character. But is that really in character? I don't know, as I've never seen Ramsay have to deal with having somebody he loved die before. But yeah, I could see Ramsay killing his household, definitely. What else have I got to talk about? Oh, don't get me started on those. That shit. The Sand Snakes are back. I was going to make a joke about how the only black character on the episode just so happens to be the first one to die, as is tradition in shows. But then I remembered that there was a load of Bolton men who were actually killed prior. I think I can still kind of imply that joke, as he was the only named character. But in case you're unaware, in TV shows, series, or even movies, there's usually, if there's just one black character in the acting cast, there's a 90% chance that is the first guy to die. And I had this big idea. I was going to introduce this joke, but then I realised the Bolton guys died first. So I thought I'd open with that so that I don't get these people without humour commenting on my videos. Well, actually, the Bolton troops stuff, whatever. But yeah, I can't stand the storyline. I thought Dan and Dave would have learnt their lesson from last season. The Sand Snakes are shit. Nobody's interested in the storyline. The acting is terrible. And especially that people love Doran. Doran was a very good character. It's like, yeah, we got a good ruler, a guy we can learn to enjoy. Sigdig was a good actor. We were looking forward to seeing how that sort of stuff planned out. And they just haven't learned a lesson. They've shat all over Stannis' storyline, and now that Stannis is gone, they've decided to shit all over the Dorne storyline. The Dorne storyline was very good. Doran Martell had his big old plan. He was going to come together. But hey, Dan and Dave want to fuck everything up. Maybe it's a tactic to try and stay in the news headlines or something by keep doing terrible storylines. I don't fucking know, but yeah, that was bullshit. You know, you got Ario Hota, a big fighter people looking forward to seeing all the time from his show prowess, his novels prowess, and then they just stabbed him in. A little girl stabbed him in the back, and he just fell over. Oh, seriously, you got a big, strong, nearly 7 foot tall, built like a refrigerator, massive, bulky man And you're trying to tell me a little girl stabbing him in the back, which won't even sever one of his internal organs because he got such thick muscles, sent him down to the ground. Oh, yeah. A soldier, a veteran of many battles, big, strong, muscular mountain of a man, trying to tell me that little fucking girl stabbed through him and killed him in one little shot. It's bullshit. Why are they pushing this female character agenda so far? The Sand Snakes are shit. You've got so many good female characters, leave them to it, but don't try and force it upon us. I know Game of Thrones has had its good publicity from having women characters actually treated like humans. Like George R. R. Martin said himself, he considers women people. But just don't try and push this shit. This Sand Snakes are garbage. Nobody's ever going to like them. Just don't do it. You've killed off the entire Dornish storyline in one swoop. And it's stupid. Why are these characters so stupid? You're trying to tell me Ilaria Sand, in an attempt to avenge her lover, has decided that it's a good idea to kill off his brother and his nephew. Doran Martell. You know why Doran Martell was so pissed at Lannisters? It's because they killed his sister. And you think the good way to try and avenge him is to kill his brother and his nephew? Oh, well, thank you, Dan and Dave, for writing this absolutely terrific, absolutely non-bullshit bit of writing. I am so glad that you did it. Right, let's stop. No, I'm getting it out. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna just fuck that off to the side. Fuck off, Sand Snakes. You are shit. That's what train of thought was I. Oh yeah, Daenerys. Yeah, sweet. She got to see loads of characters. She got to prove how Jason Momoa was such a terrific fit for Khal Drogo because yeah, those Dothraki, they're actually the other guys, not the main guy. The main guy seemed a bit but the others, they seemed awesome. They seemed just cool, chilling out, having a bit of a laugh. Good, funny characters. I like to see how they develop. They probably won't because it's Dan and Dave. But yeah, the other guy needed to be a bit bigger. He needed to be a bit more formidable with prowess. But they wasted all their big, formidable prowess actors in the Sunspear. But whatever. Yeah, nothing much really happened with Daenerys. She's just going to get sent off to Vaes Dothrak, which we already knew. We're not stupid. Of course, her contract is not allowing her to get naked, so they had to stop that man from pulling off all her clothes with full force like he usually would, and just let him tug at them. But whatever. The two boys, what they call Dario and Jorah, just had a bit of a horse ride. Nothing really happened. They're just going about. Some people have been saying it's a plot hole or some shit that they found her ring. I mean, yeah, are you dumb? You did see on the ground there was this big green circle where she was standing, and then all around it there was all these mud trails. Like there was literally a big target on the floor pointing towards that ring. Who, when you're tracking somebody, why would you not look over there? That's not a plot hole. Just don't talk rubbish. On the other plot hole, people were saying about the dogs disappearing in the Brienne scene. Yeah, they're dogs. You think they're just gonna sit there and watch? The dogs. Ramsay's best dogs. They can chew through a half-naked girl like we saw, but I don't think they're gonna be chewing through armor. They're not really gonna get in with that. Yeah, that's just a bit whatever. Tyrion reminds us what Daenerys' storyline is all about by saying that we're not going to be sailing to Westeros anytime soon. Thank you very much, Tyrion, for pointing that out. We are very aware that Daenerys is not going to be sailing to Westeros anytime soon. Her storyline is just one big delay after another. So, yep. Good to see Varys. Hello, Varys. Did we see Grey Worm? Was Grey Worm in this at all? No. No, he weren't. Oh, that's good. Cut down him and Miss Sunday. That would be very good. Because that was just a bit more stupid stuff. What did they show? Was it just him and Varys walking through the street? Because that was a bit Yeah, well, it's a nice introduction. It's an introductional episode. Episode 1, it just introduces where the storylines are currently at, I guess. So yeah, King's Landing, ignoring the bit of Sand Snake bullshit part. It was just, I don't know, it's cool to see Robert Strong. See he's hanging about. No other real characters introduced, but High Sparrow seems like a cool guy. We got to see good old Marjorie. I can imagine her throwing her brother under the bus to get released. I'm calling it. Yes, she's gonna throw her brother under the bus to get released. Yes. But yeah, Cersei's going to go mad. She's all this prophecy stuff's coming true. She's going to be overprotective of Tommen, and that's ultimately going to lead to his death. That's what I'm calling as well. Tommen's going to die this season, and Cersei is going to cause it by being overprotective. But yeah, there's nothing else really to talk about. I've spoken for what, 60 minutes now. Yeah, it's an introductory episode. You can't expect too much to happen, but the Sand Snake stuff was bullshit. So I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not looking forward to the storyline at all. I might even be brave and fast forward every time it's on because I really cannot be bothered with that crap. I mean, seriously, what's going to happen? Are the Dornish going to admit Elaria Sand as their new lord or something? And they're going to rise up and go to war against Lannisters, who have much more wealth and alliance with the Tyrells, and much more wealth and even more wealth. Not to mention a lot more wealth and 10 times as many men because they have all these kingdoms loyal to them. It's so stupid, seriously. Honestly, it is so stupid. Right, no, ignore that. Yeah, I'll say I was a bit underwhelmed. I know it's an introductory video, but introductory episode, but I was underwhelmed. There was a few things which were pretty cool. There's a few things that were quite like shit, but hey, that's TV. Some things you enjoy, some things you don't. I'm looking forward to the next few episodes. There is already a trailer out for the next episode. I'm going to do a trailer scene by scene analysis of that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've just been talking to myself, really going over reciting what I remember. It was, of course, an hour and a half ago, probably now. So if I've missed anything big and important, my bad. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next time with the next video I do. This is the discussion. You can leave down your thoughts and such below, and I will reply to you, and we can have a nice little bit of chit chat. You can tell me I'm a knob for not loving the sand snakes, or you can tell me I'm an absolute god for thinking that Davos is an onion. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.